Oh, CW, I see what you did there.
NERDSoul.
Play Ill Kid at OneYoungsta, hold it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, we coming with another wonderful episode of On Screen. And you know what this is about. We're gonna be talking about none other than, of course, Crisis on Earth X. And if you didn't know, this is the crossover this year for all the superhero shows on CWDC or DCCW or, you know, whatever that is. But man, look. Okay, initial thoughts, let me know what you think in the comments, but I'm gonna say, overall, I really enjoyed this. But let's go in and get this whole thing out of the way. Yes, there is a lot of corniness, and it is not subtle at all. They let you know we're talking about Nazis. They let you know we want to punch Nazis. They let you know they are not playing anything with Nazis. They let you know like people are being like killed because you know they're who they choose to love and all that. Like they were super not subtle at all. But now that we got that out of the way, yes, there were some corny parts. Yes, it wasn't subtle, but let's get into the opening of all the action sequences. I love how we opened up and everybody was kind of like doing their thing. Like Supergirl, yo, she still gotta fight, you know, Dominators. She gotta, you know, Arrow still gotta fight his folks, and the Flash is still running around doing his thing. Like everybody is kind of like still in their groove of their daily fight. And, you know, they're like, hey, let's all stop because of course we were invited to this wedding. And not only do we have action alone, but the wedding turns into one of the best choreographed action scenes I've seen on network in a very long time. I mean, nuptials notwithstanding, there were some great sequences all throughout 4 episodes. And the wedding is where it really kicked off and let you know what you're getting into. I mean, the way they use the camera to move around and pan around and handling people and saving folks and Kid Flash and, you know, Supergirl. And there was just a lot to just take in visually and a lot to enjoy on a technical standpoint. And I think the action from just every stance when it comes to the wedding, or I guess, you know, the ceremony, because it wasn't a wedding anymore, but, you know, it turned into an action sequence. But everybody stepped up. And I love how they gave everybody a shot to shine in this. I mean, even Supergirl's sister, and y'all know I am not too high on her. I think we spend way too much screen time on her, and I'm just not feeling her. But she came to play when it came to fight. And speaking of fighting, it wasn't just on, you know, the hero side, you know, with their level of spats and quarrels between like Oliver and Felicity, but we also had a little bit of ice crack and some trouble in paradise type stuff with the, of course, opposite side. You know, from Earth X, you had, I guess, their Oliver and their Supergirl and their Reverse Flash, and they didn't always get along either. So I did like to see kind of like that both fronts had their own issues. And I think they spent a lot of time kind of like, I guess, characterizing these new people, even though we kind of already sort of know them, but they did a good job of characterizing the main people that we were fighting against. We did get some nice little standouts like Captain Lance on the other side from Earth X and stuff like that. We also got some cool moments like the Kryptonite Arrow. And I like how Supergirl was like, yo, why do you have a Kryptonite Arrow? He was like, because something like this. And straight up, he's right. I mean, I know it sounds bad to have a Kryptonite Arrow, but I mean, the proof is in the pudding, man. You see a bad Supergirl right here, and it would help greatly if the bad Supergirl had an arrow in her. I mean, a Kryptonite Arrow, of course. Another bright moment that I like is Metallo, like bringing him into play the way they did. Also the way they took him down with, you know, the heroes surrounding him, superheating him, super cooling him, hitting him with the vibe powers. It was a way to make the heroes that weren't our main heroes the center of attention for a second. And I like how they played that out, man. They played it very well with like Felicity and Iris teaming up. They had, you know, all the heroes that had gotten locked up and kind of like their banter while they were in jail. You know, there was so much to gain from their interactions and what they think about each other and how different those teams are. Now, of course, I'm gonna move on. There's tons of good stuff to get to, but of course, KURO brand going to help us pay them bills. Oh yeah, did you see your boy in there? Did you see him? I'm saying, did you see him? Yo, if you like what you see, KURO brand description is the link down below. Check that joint out, cop yourself a shirt. Now, through the whole rigmarole of the first 2 issues, our heroes, our main heroes, end up, of course, in a concentration camp because they are super pushing the Nazi world. And I guess for good reason. But once again, everything that goes on in this series is not subtle, yo. It is super not subtle. But I do like how we got Snart back, you know what I'm saying? And his attitude was very similar to the attitude that we already know him, you know, to be, you know what I'm saying? We already know his character, we already know his style, and it was nice to see that. I also like how they played off of the Red Tornado, the Flash. Red Tornado was cool to see. Like, just for real, like I didn't even expect Red Tornado to be there. So that was a great, you know, opportunity to just throw in a little flair for the show. And to see that they are really putting in a lot of work for this joint, man. I also like the conversation between the good and the bad Supergirl. Because of course, good Supergirl is giving us this kind of like, with great power comes great responsibility. And the bad Supergirl is like, with great power comes domination. She was like, look, we are supposed to rule. We are gods. We are, you know, like, we are above them. They are nothing to us. They should serve us. We should rule over them. And you kind of get to see sort of where she's coming from. The only thing is that, you know, Earth X Supergirl isn't exactly benevolent. I mean, come on, let's be for real. I mean, her and Evil Oliver ain't too great. But I do like how they gave that some time, a chance to breathe, to see their different ideologies and see, you know, why they differ. Because they could have just said, you know, they could have just ran the show like, they're bad, we're good, let's fight. And to a certain degree, they sort of did. But you got to see kind of how they felt, why they felt this way. And you got to even see why Evil Oliver was in this game. Like, he didn't really care too much about, you know, the fatherland. I mean, he cared about the woman he loved, which was Supergirl, the evil Supergirl. And I like that because they focused on love in a lot of different parts in this. You know, Oliver and Felicity, you had Iris and Barry, you had, of course, you know, evil Oliver and Supergirl, and you had, I can't think of his name, Snart and the other guy. I'm sorry, it's escaping me right now. You guys will throw it in the comments, you know what's up. But you take all of these moments that are just, they're plain alone, but when you put them in this nice gumbo soup of a crossover, you have a wonderful mix of just joyful elation of 9-year-old Michael's glee for comic books. And one of those great moments was when Reverse Flash was trying to slice into Supergirl, and he was like, I can't do it. I don't know what's wrong. And I was like, yo, what's wrong with this dude? I was wondering if there was someone who was like invisible or something. I was like, I don't see how this is happening. And I was like, oh, snap the atom. That was great. I love that moment. It was really cool. It's just those nice little touches that I think the team that works on these shows, I think they work hard to bring this stuff to us, to throw these little tidbits that, you know, make you like, oh, the atom, like that type of stuff. And I really enjoyed that. I had a ball. I think the final fight scene where everybody's lining up and the camera's panning and following everybody and everybody gets to get a little something. We get to see once again, Barry lets Reverse Flash go and Oliver does not let evil Oliver go. But I loved how this played out. Yes, there were corny moments. Yes, it was not subtle. All right, they let you know straight up. Any Nazi, white supremacist, alt-right stuff, they let you know they are not playing with you. But with that said, I really enjoyed this, guys. Holla at me, I'ma holla at you. Down in the comments, let me know what you thought about Crisis on Earth X. I had a ball watching this. Just the joy of the kid in me was just excited to see how good this was. So, of course, guys, before I bounce, I gotta tell you to hit up ThatNERDSoul.com. That's right, you can check me out right there. All my videos from the oldest, newest, latest, greatest, and all that. Then hit up shop.thatnerdsoul.com and pick yourself up a t-shirt player. And don't forget to get one for them playettes. Then come back here, like, comment, subscribe, and share that Nerd Soul. That's right, there's no better way that I can show people that you like what you are watching. So, LA, what up? VA, what up? RVA, you got my heart. And please be good to yourselves. Please be good to each other. And remember, yo, no matter what earth you're on, you better straighten up and fly right. Peace.